Jessica, hello. We're live. That came quick. Hello, Rock Solid Agents. Today I am joined with Jessica Peterson, who's going to talk to us about how do you wow people online and offline. I want to tell you a little bit about Jessica. She's the founder of Simply Wow Agency, and she often shares that how even as a little young girl, her dolls had careers and they even volunteered. I think that's pretty cool. She says that they scheduled their finances and that was all mapped out, and she's been committed. She's a lifelong learner, and she's also passionate for numbers and simplifying processes. And one thing I can tell you about Jessica is that you are also an incredible relationship builder and a connector as well. And thank you for being that person, and welcome, Jessica.
Oh, well, thank you, Dan, for having me. I'm really excited, and I look forward to hearing from other people about their insider information on how to wow people online and offline as well. And thank you for sharing that little humorous story about all of my dolls. They were all independent women. They all had their careers and lives and volunteer schedules all mapped out and everything. I thought that was normal. So anyhow, can you see my screen here, Dan?
We can see your screen right about
now. We can see your screen.
Fabulous. Well, I'm all about how to wow people and create powerful relationships, especially even more so now during the times that we are in. And what I'm hearing from people historically and even now is they're feeling this frustration. They thought that they felt a connection with someone and then they went to another person or company. Have you ever heard that as well, Dan?
I know lots of people are sharing that frustration right now, and I think this is a good time to dive into that, about how things went wrong or, what they're thinking.
So a lot of people wonder what went wrong. So we're going to cover some different possibilities and ways on what may have gone wrong. And I'm always about giving and wowing. So I'm really excited today because I want to go ahead and wow people and give some gifts. So I definitely want to go ahead and do that. And
yay, we love gifts. Sorry to interrupt you. We love gifts.
I love gifts. Feel free to give me gifts too. So, we're going to discuss how to create relationships online and offline. And, the background, I remember when Facebook first came out and I was calling all these real estate agents and friends, and they're like, what is this Facebook? I go, this is so exciting. I've always wanted a tool to stay in touch with people. I was top sales in a bank at the time. So anyhow, people started getting on and then they all became addicted and it just kept growing and growing, right? And become this amazing platform. And I am all about in person, although not now during the times. I am all about in person and online, having it be a combination of everything. So I really want to break this down in simple. So there's simple two ways: connect and share value. So I'm beyond grateful, Dan, that you reached out to me on LinkedIn. We connected and we've been in inner exchange of value with each other.
So let me share, Jessica. Let me share with the audience.
I connected with Jessica. She shared value with me, and then we created a relationship. So it was an inner exchange there of connection as well as value. So I just wanted to point that out of what a great value sharer that you are.
Oh, thank you. Well, I appreciate all you do, and everyone listening. I mean, I'm sure they appreciate all the value you give. So there's essential steps to go ahead and connect. The first one is be clear on whom you serve. And I'm discovering a lot of people, a lot of industries, not just real estate, they say, I want to serve everyone. And I always say, and I'll probably say this many times, when you speak to everyone, you speak to no one. The next one is communicate their language. I have a really fascinating story. I'm at eXp Realty, and a real estate agent up north referred her customer to another eXp agent down here, and her customer fired him. So she reached out and asked who's the one who can handle her. And they said Jessica Peterson. So I got connected with her. We hit it off. She's amazing. I love her. And I just learned how to communicate her language. And it's really important to learn each person's language because it doesn't mean we all communicate the same language. I'm sure, Dan, you're an expert in some of that information too.
Well, I've done some study. I'm curious, Jessica, how did you understand how to communicate in her language specifically?
Oh, okay. I'll definitely go ahead and share that. That's really exciting. The next one is be clear on whom you serve. I always say riches in niches. And I have a whole team, and I love referring, and I've been referring to agents right now. I've got Colorado, Oregon, all over the place. And even here locally, I have people reach out to me. I say, you know what? I may not be the best fit. This agent will be. This is their niche. They're going to be able to be of service to you. And I'm all about teamwork and collaboration. And part of my niche is I have a set of values. That's really important to me. Are you dedicated, focused, a giver, contributor? I have my values. That's really important to me as far as my niches. And every person can be a little bit different as far as their niches. Do you want to expand on some of your niches or what you've seen, Dan?
And one of the things that when we started in real estate sales that allowed for us to get started relatively quickly, in my third year of sales, we helped 109 families. And we did so because we were focusing on short sales, because this was 2009 and there was a great need for that. In fact, there may be some turmoil coming ahead of us in the marketplace. So that could be something along those lines in regards to a niche. Yet the most success that I've ever had in business has been when we've niched. And since then we've niched into sociographic and geographic areas. And I've seen a lot of positive return. I'm curious, Jessica, what type of niches do you have?
Oh, wow. I actually have pages of niches. So when I work with real estate agents, and I have a whole formula and a plan, who do you connect with? What's your passion, your dreams? I have pages of niches, and sometimes people don't even really think about. So one of my niches is a luxury market. And another one I have is business professionals. I love working with business professionals just because I'm a certified business coach, life coach. That's really my background. And that's another one of my niches as well.
What do you like specifically about working with business people?
Oh, we think a lot alike.
Well, you are a business person.
I am a business person. And I've worked with companies over the years to turn their companies around, right? What's your biggest challenge? How to overcome it? Let's work less, increase profits. And I really speak their language. And it was so funny because when I originally got my license, it wasn't to do real estate. It was just to keep expanding my coaching and everything else. And people started getting really upset I wouldn't be of service to them. And the next thing you know, I think it was 6 or 7 commercial deals. So I partnered with a gentleman with 31 years of experience. He said, "What are you doing?" And it's just because I communicate their language, right? The business, it's exciting for me. I love the entrepreneurial mindset, the business people. And my husband and I, we have different companies and bring in different funnels of income. My motto for 2020 was make money while I sleep and make an impact.
Well, great. And you are making an impact.
Oh, thank you. Well, I've created a community of WOW Power Players, and we're all on a mission to wow one person a day. And at the rate we're going, we're going to have 365,000 lives a year, which excites me. So That's my purpose. And as we mentioned, when you speak to everyone, you speak to no one. So I really want everyone listening today to really be clear and focused on whom you serve to wow, right? There are some people, I'm not going to communicate their language. I'm not going to connect with them. I'm not going to wow them. It doesn't mean I'm better. It doesn't mean they're better. It just means that, we're not the same communication style or code. And I want to expand on that in communicating their language. And I do want to talk a little bit more about that. So as a matter of fact, what if I came to you, Dan, and said in 60 seconds, you actually already know about this. In 60 seconds, you can discover your communication code and you can have your family take it as well. And you all learn your communication style. Does that interest you?
I'm in.
And to answer your question earlier about that customer that was referred to me, I had her take the 60-second test. And I discovered her communication code is she loves data. So the real estate agent that referred her does not love data. So when I discovered that about her, and she was looking at 2 homes, and I said, great, I'm going to give you information on that. I gave her almost 140 pages of data, and she was so excited. The other agent said, what is going on? And I explained to her that is her communication code. She loves data. She loves information. She went to other real estate agents and said, I found the agent for me. Thank you. I had data for her that most agents didn't have, and I had all of that information.
Fantastic. So you listened, you observed, you had her take an assessment, and you realized that her language was data. And then based off of that, then you were able to communicate with her in a manner that built rapport and connectivity and made her important and allowed for her to understand that she was being listened to and that you were cohesive in the way that you were communicating. Am I understanding that correctly?
Absolutely. And another story is I had a gentleman, who came in and hired us. and he's in the financial world. And there was a little hint to me. He said, Jessica, I don't like enthusiasm. I'm very enthusiastic, but we still loved each other. He goes, I don't like enthusiasm. People who love data don't like enthusiasm. So I had him take the 60-second test. He loved it. Then he had all his friends take it, right? And so he's sure enough, he loves data and no enthusiasm. So when you learn people's communication codes, and I actually connected two people the other day, very, very powerful people. One of them, the database is over 5 million people, and the other one's a multimillionaire. So I connected the two of them. So I explained to the one his communication code. Okay, he's going to get straight to the point, talk big names. We're going to make a lot of money, go big or go home. Right. And sure enough, he was shocked. And I was private messaging him while they were talking. I said, see, this is his code. Keep it up. Right. To be able to communicate that. So what I have as a surprise for everyone, and I have more surprises, is you can go to letsgohero.com and take this 60-second test. And you can discover your code. Now, I'm going to warn you behind the scenes, I'm going to see your code too. So when you connect with me, I will know your communication style, and I'll share with you mine, and we can then know how to communicate with each other.
You already know 87% of all real estate agents fail in this business. And you also know it doesn't have to be that way. If you're a real estate agent and you're looking for consistent and predictable income, I invite for you to get your free copy of Real Estate Evolution, the 10-step guide to C.P.I, consistent and predictable income for real estate agents. And you can do so when you visit www.therealestateevolution.com. I'll share with you your book that I authored to show you the way. And it's free. You just have to pay for the shipping. Thanks.
Fantastic. And Jessica, can you give us a sneak preview on yours?
Little nuggets for us?
Well, I'll tell you, for me, I am very much, if you come to me, you better tell me first how we're going to make an impact in people's lives, and then how we're going to make a lot of money. If you came to me with the money first, I will tune you out.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not the data person.
Unless if you're communicating with the data person.
Yeah, I'll send all the data, but don't be sending me. When people send me a lot of data, I right away, that's a flag that's their communication code. And I'm like thinking, I have to read all this, right? So
bullet point.
And I know you experienced this a little bit, didn't you, Dan? Right? Let's Go Hero.
I did, yes.
And what did you think?
Well, I thought it was an accurate assessment, and I've had a lot of experience in behavioral assessments, and it was relevant to who I am, and shared with me, and I already knew this but it shared with me that I'm a very direct person. I'm a very bottom line person. I'm a very values oriented person. I like to serve others. I like to give. And I'm here to be able to help others to be able to open up the doorways for their success. And the assessment aligned with that very well.
Yes. And with that being said, I love to use this on my customers. So my customers will take this. And then I understand how to communicate with them, whether I'm coaching them or whether they're a customer in real estate. So, and I have my whole team getting onboarded with this too, which is really exciting, because sometimes they would call and say, we didn't connect. Well, this is why. So anyhow, so we're going to expand a little bit. So this is my first code. I'm an empathy, promoting harmony, being authentic, positive involvement, helping community, true relationships, people over money. Okay, so connection tips. If you come to someone like this, highlight the positive impact, be authentic, smile, and maintain reasonable eye contact. Focus on the helpful benefits you will provide. Share stories about real people and how you improve their lives. That is big for me. Listen intently, don't interrupt them, and thank them for sharing their thoughts or opinions. So that's my code.
Jessica.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts and opinions.
Now I'm just giving it all away, right? I'm just giving it all away right here. So now let's talk about the energetic, which is my second code, right? And I believe, wasn't this your first one? No surprise. Right?
I think so, yes. Yeah.
You're all about freedom, opportunity, number one, living in the moment, options, choices, make money, fun, and excitement. Correct?
That's true, yes.
Okay. So if someone comes to you, they would want to highlight a new opportunity, a chance to beat out the competition, You want to avoid going too deeply into concepts and charts and spreadsheets. Be relaxed and friendly enthusiasm. And people like this, you'll see them typically sweating it out at the gym at 5 a.m. and they're all about the big names and brand names. So what time do you get up, Dan?
This morning I was up at 3:30 and I was at the gym, and I was in the gym at 5.
It's so accurate. It's
Sure.
so accurate. It's pretty amazing. And there's lots of science and research to all of this. Okay, so now let's talk about the researcher, which is what my customer. They want knowledge and planning and technology and accuracy and precision and solutions and logic and insight and intelligence. That's them. So when you communicate with them, keep it formal and professional. They're not interested in needless small talk. Avoid sports metaphors because they don't connect so much with the sport world. And avoid excessive enthusiasm. Make direct eye contact, tell them exactly why you're meeting, what you want to accomplish, and never wing or guess it. They don't like that. And when you ask them a question, it may take a few heartbeats for them to answer. I found that to be so true. I'm just so enthusiastic and go, and I'm sitting here thinking, are they still there? It's because they're processing.
And that's being displayed outwardly as a pause in the communication. That doesn't mean that they're not understanding or connecting. It just means that they're processing where you're going to process quicker and on to the next. And then for somebody like yourself and myself, when you're speaking with an individual such as this, you're going to want to slow down a bit and connect in a manner that relates to them. Am I accurate on that?
You're very accurate. So no small talk, more serious, better have everything factual, everything lined up, lots of graphs, data, information for them. Okay. Organizer values. I remember that was your lower one, right?
Sort of. I love organization. Yeah, I love organization. I have to live in an organized world. It's not what I'm leading with, but I have to have it to be able to support my other values.
Yes, no, absolutely. So this is my third one, and it fuels all my everything else. So they're all about the rules, the regulations, dependability, organization, titles, rank planning. I have a customer I coached who is a lawyer. She came up number one as a no.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me in that profession. And that's the other thing. I'm not sure if you're going to expand on this, is that you can look at different professions and you can almost guess where they're going to be based off of, the worlds that they live in.
Yes. And sometimes, we want to know right away to be able to connect with people right away. And instead of guessing, what I love about this, it actually helps. So the organizer code does not like wasting time. That's totally me. I created a planner, okay? And people buy and use this planner. So you want to have bulleted notes and a summation overview. Tailor your presentation information this way. No formatting mistakes or spelling errors, which is so true. I won a spelling contest in school. I'm very spell it right or I lose my trust. And give your word and keep your word is very, very important for high O people for some information. So there you go. So anyhow, it skipped over some different pages. Any questions that you have?
Yeah, we have somebody that would like for you to talk more about the formula and the plan and using specific examples of the niche. So going back to the beginning of the conversation, a little bit more specific of how could you create a formula and a plan in regards to creating a niche.
Okay, perfect. So can we shelve that just a little bit and address it, and we'll cover some more of this, because it probably will tie in with some other questions. Does that sound good, Dan?
Sounds fantastic to me.
Okay, perfect. So the next part is know your value. Know and share. Sharing is caring. I don't have all the wisdom and knowledge out there. And that's what I love about teamwork and collaboration and everything. So once you know your value, present it, give it to people. There's a way that you can deliver it without being salesy or pushy or anything. And I want you to have confidence in your value. It's amazing to me how many people, and actually I just branded a company, I'm really excited about it. It's just launching, called Confident Closers, because it's amazing to me how many people out there are losing confidence. And each of you have your gifts. Each of you have your value. If you don't know what it is, ask your friends, ask people around you, ask a coach, ask a mentor, and start branding and positioning yourself online and offline. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in the value and give some examples. And people love this, Dan, when I say this, is why not you? So many people deep down inside feel, I don't deserve this success, or this is impossible for me. This isn't possible for me. Why not you? Right? Why not? I love asking people that question. I had a woman write me not long ago a card. She sent me a card. She said, years ago, I sat down with her and I had an impact in her life when she shared her dreams. And I said, great, why not you? She said that always goes through her head.
That's fantastic.
Rochon. I recently wrote the book, Real Estate Evolution, the 10-step guide to C.P.I, consistent and predictable income for real estate agents. I wrote this book because I have sold real estate since 2007 and developed an immense amount of experience and knowledge. During my journey, I've witnessed hundreds and maybe even thousands of real estate agents fail in this business. And I firmly believe that that's a shame. In Real Estate Evolution, I will show you the exact steps that I have used as a real estate salesperson to sell 1 to 15 homes every single month for the past 129 consecutive months. It took me more than 2 decades to learn the sales and persuasion techniques, and more than 1 decade to master the real estate sales techniques to be able to produce the content that makes up this book. And it took me more than a year to write at a pace of 3 hours every single day. If you're a real estate agent and you're looking for consistent and predictable income in your business, I invite you to get the book, Real Estate Evolution, and you can get that by visiting www.therealestateevolution.com, and I'll even give it to you for free as long as you pay for the postage.
And we all have the power to be able to design our lives, and that doesn't mean that we all come from the same place, and it doesn't mean that we all have the same challenges, yet we all have a human existence, a spiritual being in a human capsule, and we can create the destiny that we have. And granted, we have different challenges. That's to be observed, yet why not you? I totally align with that, Jessica.
Awesome. I love it. So variety of ways to deliver value. I want people to really think about this. The first one is your 30-second introduction. So many times I've gone out networking in the past, and we'll just use real estate as an example because you and I are both in real estate, Dan. So if I'm out networking and I say, you ask what I do, and I say I'm Jessica Peterson, I'm a real estate agent. What would you think you're thinking? If you're not an agent, what would you be thinking?
There are 2 questions. It sort of depends on the where we are in the relationship. So either typically what's going on in the real estate market is the first question that I would think that you're going to get. Sometimes there may be some sort of negative connotation as well, depending on the scenario.
The most common response I get from people who are not in real estate is their thought process is, I know so many real estate agents.
Sure.
So it's not really wowing them by doing that. So Dan, I'm curious, when you go out networking, what's your 30-second introduction?
Typically, I am more concerned about how I can help them than myself. So when I'm networking, 2 things is, one is if I'm in a room full of 50 people and there's a baker, a carpet installer, and a barber, the person that I want to connect with is the carpet installation, because I know that I can help him in his business. The first thing is I'm being very selective about who I'm interacting with. Then I create a relationship with them to find out, how can I help you? Then the relationship develops into hopefully a reciprocal relationship where we're helping each other. So for me on the networking piece, it's a little bit longer. Like I'm not necessarily going for 50 conversations. I'm looking for 2 or 3 meaningful conversations in each networking event and figuring out, how can I help you? So that may be a little bit different than the direction that you're going right now, yet that's the way that I approach that.
No, actually, it's very much the right direction. So I'm going to give people a couple ideas. So I like what you said, depending on the setting. So depending on the setting, I have a couple different ones. So one, I may say, I'm Jessica Peterson. I'm a real estate agent and the founder of Wow Power Players. We're on a mission to wow at least one person every day. Please share with me, what's a good connection or referral for you?
Fantastic. Yeah. So you're asking right in the, you're saying, here's who I am. How can I help you? Is basically what Jessica's saying there.
Yep. Another one I could say, I'm Jessica Peterson with the Luxure team, brokered at eXp Realty. I'm all about, giving value. I have a magazine I give away, Luxure Lifestyle. Would you be interested in a complimentary subscription? They're like, yeah, right? right? Or if it's a real estate agent, I could tell them I'd love to give away, I've written 7 books. I'd love to give away one of my books. Would they like it? And they're like, really? Wow.
Fantastic. Yep. So leading from value and contribution. And I actually think just not in networking yet, that's a way of life that Zig Ziglar says the more value, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the Zig Ziglar. Jessica, help me.
I am too right now.
Oh, fantastic. All right. We know what we're talking about. But it's basically the more value that you give to somebody, then the more that you get in return. But it's not with the intention of getting something in return. It's just sort of like a happenstance. It's an outcome. It's the more value that you can provide to somebody else, then there's a law of reciprocity that's going to set it up that they're going to want to help you back.
It reminds me of the saying, "There's more happiness in giving than receiving," and it also reminds me when I gave my TEDx talk, I shared one of the top regrets of the dying, and it was they regret not staying in touch with people. Always their top regret. So, and I also watched a 9-hour documentary on people live to be 100, and part of that was relationships. So I'm so excited and passionate about this. I don't want to serve everyone out there for real estate and all real estate agents. And when real estate agents come to me, and sometimes I say I'm not the right fit, I'm completely upfront with them. I actually just had a national real estate school ask for my training. I'm going to teach how to find the right real estate company because I'm against mine's the right one for everybody. So. And
you and I have had that conversation as well. And I think we share the opinion of there is no one size fits all. It's what is the best fit for you. And in my opinion, if you're a real estate agent, for example, interviewing a company or having a company interview you should be listening for the how can I help you, going back to that value, because whoever you're getting a relationship with, hopefully they're caring for you more than themselves or as much as themselves, but they're putting you first.
Absolutely. I've just referred several agents. I said, I'm not the right fit.
Yeah.
So the next one, text me please first, because people want to know what does my voicemail say. So you text me first. I'm going to call and listen to your voicemail. Okay. But you guys are welcome to get ideas from it, to be inspired ideas. I have people all the time that will leave a voicemail and say, wow, we've never heard of anything like this. So I'm just giving that away if anybody wants to hear it. The next one is your email signature line, right? So my tagline is buy or sell today the luxury way. You deserve it. And then come check out why I fell in love with eXp Realty or get your complimentary magazine subscription. So really look at your email signature line because there are ways that you could be delivering value too.
Fantastic.
The next one is social media. I created a top 100 activities to do at home with kids right now, and I'm seeing it being shared and going viral on social media. So what value can you give out there? Now, keep in mind, please do a checkup. And I do this every now and then for real estate agents or high-end business professionals. I'll do a checkup for their business. And so often, about 90% of the time, people have broken links to their real estate page, and they're shocked. They had no idea. And I've worked with companies who say, families tagging me in very inappropriate photos. They're at the strip club. So, you kind of
Jessica, please don't share my dark secrets here.
It wasn't you, Dan. It wasn't.
Whew.
I know.
Thank goodness.
Well, and I've gone into companies, multiple times, banks, auto dealerships, and they're shocked to see how their employees are posting very inappropriate things, and then they're tagging where they work, and they're thinking, So really go through and ask, is my social media attracting right people? A little humor and entertainment. Someone said this, and I loved it. They said, Jessica's not my ideal person. She's too positive. So it made me happy because I don't want them in my life. Yeah. Your social media is intended only to draw and attract the right people. Do take a look at it and make sure your links are working. It conveys who you are and what you do. You can check out my LinkedIn, my Facebook, whatever you prefer to do for that. So the next one is events. Right now, we can't meet in person. I've created amazing relationships and have obtained business. Actually, one of these people here just referred me over a $4 million customer. So it's all about what events can you provide and do, or what events, can you sponsor or put on, and they don't have to be big to really create that community. Right now, everything is virtual. So what virtual events can you do? What value can you go ahead and provide?
Jessica, can you give us some suggestions on that for virtual?
Oh, there's so last night I did one, and I was very impressed at the people that came and attended. We talked about the real estate market in the past, now, and future, and where it's going. I had an independent broker. He has 950 agents in New Hampshire, Matthew Cabana. He reached out and said, you want to do this? I said, absolutely. So that's value add right there. That's an event that people came. The other one is postcards. I'll remind people about the magazine, check out the latest edition. Another way, and I know we're on a time crunch, so I'm going through this one. Another one, I love this woman. She is so amazing. And this is what she wrote. Someone amazing just made me cry in a good way, Jessica Peterson. This lovely human has reached out the most emotional times of my life and touched my heart. This time, deliver card and mug from a Facebook post about my house, my Emily. Connect with her, follow her, read her stuff. She is the epitome of simply wow. So what I did is I saw she was struggling with her girl, moving out and moving on in life. And she found a picture she drew. So I put it on a mug and a card for her. And I have people who reach out when I do this and say, your coffee mug is the only one I want to use now.
That's fantastic.
So
That's
really
special.
you want to go ahead and create a gift that's special. I'm not here to down or anything, but in the past, I got a knife from my real estate agent. I'm like, I don't know. It kind of gave the sci-fi horror connotation to me. I'm like, what is this for? So, just be really careful and think about your gifts. This is all I'm saying. So, okay. So gifts for you, anybody listening, I will share with you all my tools in my toolbox. I will tell you how to discover your wow score. I will give you a 15-minute consult. You can go to wowrealestateagents.com. answer some questions, and we're good to go.
Well, Jessica, thank you so much. And I've got some distraction in the background here with my little dog and my little girl running around here. Can you hear that?
And it's cute. I love it. And I want to address about the niches. So let's revisit that and other questions. Does that sound good?
Please, go ahead.
Okay, so what other questions do we have at this time?
All right, so the niches and the formula and the plan. So let's start there, and then we have got 2 questions right now, and then I'll tell you about that.
Okay, so I highly recommend every single person have a business plan. If you don't have one, don't feel bad. Statistically, about 90% of people do not. So really create your plan and look at never having more than 3 niches, okay? And again, as I shared earlier, where are your strengths? Whom are you drawn to? What excites you? I have a real estate agent on my team. He's a pharmacist, and his background is in investing. He just got his license. He joined my team. He is so excited about investors. Not my passion. I've actually referred out. I attract a lot of them, probably because I'm analytical in numbers. I refer a lot out. So with him, he's so excited. And today we worked on his business plan. Okay, this is your excitement. This is where you love to play and work with. How are you going to reach out to them, communicate your value, convert? So anyhow, I hope that inspires some different ideas, because we don't really have enough time to cover the whole discover your niche.
All right. One last question, and we'll finish it up. So you were talking about the values, and you went through 4 values. Yes. And the question is, can one person have 2 values?
2 values?
Correct.
Yeah, you absolutely can. My previous coach put me on the challenge to have at least 9 or 10. And because she says, I'm flying a jet. All of you are flying a jet or driving a bus, however you want to look at it. And there's only so much room on our jet or bus. And when someone gets off our bus or off our jet, it allows room for the right person. And sometimes you got to kick people off because life is too short. I wrote about it in one of my books. If anybody wants it, I'll happily give it away in a 21-day challenge where my husband was in ICU overnight. Our whole world and lives changed.
Tell us the name of that book, Jessica.
That one is Create the Perfect Day.
Yeah, okay.
And so looking at that, life is so short, be really clear on whom you want to work with, right? So again, givers, contributors, focused, dedicated, optimistic, really look at and Google and research values and get ideas and really start discovering who you are and whom you want to work with.
That's fantastic. And those are great insights. And you have your contact information on the slide there. And you, throughout the presentation, talked about a lot of different ways to be able to get in touch with you, to listen to your voice message, text first. And
yes, please text first.
What's your final thoughts today, Jessica? What would you like to share with our audience before we wrap up?
Every person that's on here, I want to say, I believe you're on here for a reason. I'm grateful for you. I have full faith that you are going to wow one person a day, and thank you for that.
God bless you, Jessica. Thank you.
Thank you.
Give us a thumbs up by clicking the like button below. Don't forget to subscribe to Get Rock Solid Coaching channel and stay ahead of the game.